Taiwan, I'm Laurel Stewart with the news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan has just marked its National Day with a large ceremony featuring a speech from President Lai Ching-te, together with music and performances showcasing the country's diversity. As Tiffany Wong reports, Lai's remarks had some pointed messages.
中华民国生日快乐!
Wishing a happy National Day to Taiwan with big festivities outside the presidential office, showing off the talents, diversity, and might of the nation. President Lai Ching-te delivered his second National Day speech as head of state, with foreign dignitaries in attendance, ramping up promises of maintaining peace and security in the Taiwan Strait. He also had a direct message for China, which claims Taiwan as its own and has blocked the country from participating in major international organizations.
我们也期待中国能体现大国的责任，停止扭曲联合国大会第2758号决议以及二战历史文件，并且放弃以武力及胁迫方式改变台海现状。
That message was interpreted by some as Lai showing a softer attitude to Beijing amid growing cross-strait tensions.
I think Lai, bilaterally, he tried to be using more graceful language towards China when he called on China to talk about assuming responsibility befitting of a great power. He's really calling on China to listen to the better angels of Beijing's nature and the better angel that Lai still believes Beijing has. And when it comes to more multilateral terms, that's when he tried to be more deterrent oriented.
Defense was another focus of Lai's speech, especially as the country tries to prove its domestic capabilities and determination to international allies.
透过在地研发、设计、生产制造，深化本土供应链，台湾可以加速产业升级，强化军备韧性，提升国防工业能量，进而成为有盟信赖的安全合作伙伴。 共同排除红色供应链，为自由民主国家建立国防信任，一起建构守护自由民主价值的坚强防线。
Taiwan's biggest partner, the U.S., has been urging Taipei to pursue asymmetric defense strategies and spend more on its defense. Lai mentioned that Taiwan's expected to raise the defense budget to over 3% of GDP next year and still has a goal of reaching 5% of GDP by 2030. Experts say by putting Taiwan's self-defense capabilities first, Lai is trying to reassure partners that Taiwan has the intention to take care of itself, but that it's also trying to prove its pivotal role in regional peace, which other partners have an interest in.
Lai is pretty comprehensive. He talked about strengthening internal balance and external balance. Internal balance, internal strengthen Taiwan's own domestic defense system as the increased spending. Also by external balance, that is leveraging more friends, partners from abroad so that they can lock themselves into a more sustainable, longer-term ecosystem of defense cooperation and thereby creating more path dependency that's going to sustain Taiwan's defensive commitments going forward. So international countries who are watching should be very emboldened by Taiwan's commitment to defense, judging from Lai's speech.
But besides addressing an international audience, Lai also had a message for the people of Taiwan, urging them to show strength in the face of adversity and acknowledging their daily challenges.
面对变局，我们不能自我怀疑、举棋不定，而是要把握机会，展现自信，勇敢布局，不能固步自封，走回头路，要更积极进取地向世界前进。 一个确定的台湾，将是不确定的世界一股重要而且可靠的稳定力量。
As Taiwan celebrates another year as a free country, Lai's address shows the country's capabilities in self-defense and reminds the country's allies that Taiwan is a necessary part of the global supply chain and Indo-Pacific security. Joseph Wu and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
China responded to Lai's National Day speech, calling him a troublemaker.
赖清德当局妄图编造种种谎言，推进以武谋独、以武拒统，只会将台湾拖入兵凶战危的险境。
China often reacts to big events in Taiwan, like elections and the celebration of its National Day. Taiwan's Coast Guard also reported that a Chinese ship breached restricted waters near Taiwan's Dongsha or Pratas Island on Friday morning. And it's condemning the Chinese side for using grey zone tactics to undermine peace in the Taiwan Strait. China reportedly tried to force a Rome hotel to cancel a Taiwan National Day event. Taiwan's representative to Italy, Tsai Yun-zong, says that Beijing's foreign ministry tried to get the Wednesday reception axed because Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi was slated to stay there that same day. The hotel rejected the Chinese request, and the Chinese diplomats decided to stay elsewhere. Tsai says this is just one example of the pressure China exerts on Taiwan internationally every day. Israel has approved a US-brokered deal to end its 2-year war in Gaza. The plan includes a ceasefire and the release of all remaining Israeli hostages. It's brought celebration, but also caution about the difficult road ahead. Chris Gorin reports.
Celebrations erupt across the Gaza Strip after U.S. President Donald Trump announced a breakthrough deal to end the war. The conflict has left more than 67,000 Palestinians dead since it began, as a response to a Hamas attack that killed 1,200 Israelis on October 7, 2023. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, joined by U.S. envoys, spoke just before a cabinet vote approving the plan's first phase, an immediate ceasefire and a return of Israeli hostages.
We fought during these 2 years to achieve our war aims, and a central one of these war aims is to return the hostages, all of the hostages, the living and the dead. And we're about to achieve that goal.
A Hamas spokesperson also confirmed it agreed to the deal, which will see about 2,000 Palestinian prisoners released in exchange for the Israeli hostages.
We have reached an agreement to end the war and aggression against our people and to begin implementing a permanent ceasefire, the withdrawal of the occupation forces, the entry of aid, the opening of the Rafah crossing in both directions, and the exchange of prisoners. We have received guarantees from the mediating brothers and from the American administration, all of whom confirm that the war has ended completely.
A major diplomatic victory for U.S. President Donald Trump. U.S. and Israeli flags were projected on the walls of Jerusalem, and the families of Israeli hostages celebrated. Even as explosions continued to ring out in Gaza throughout the day and overnight. For those living in the Palestinian enclave, it's a bittersweet moment.
We are very happy with this. At least we can send our children to schools without having fear. Thank God we've reached a stage where the war is over, even though our wounds will not be gone. Our hearts will continue to weep. In my family alone, there are 137 martyrs. It's impossible for the wounds to heal overnight.
The United Nations Aid Agency says they are aiming to ramp up efforts immediately, sending hundreds of trucks of food and medical supplies. Amid the celebration and optimism, there's also acknowledgement of the many difficult issues ahead.
Well, I wouldn't call this plan or framework one that is currently going to guarantee a lasting peace. The Israeli leadership continues to disavow and reject the pathway to Palestinian statehood, and there's no clear commitment that Hamas is going to disarm and try to step off of the political track or move to the sidelines to make way for a rehabilitated Palestinian Authority.
U.S. officials say they will deploy up to 200 troops to Israel as part of a task force to support stabilization, but that no American forces will enter Gaza. The focus now shifts to rebuilding and trying to secure a lasting peace in the region. Patrick Chun and Chris Gorin for TaiwanPlus.
The 2025 Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded to Maria Corina Machado. The Norwegian Nobel Committee praised her work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and her efforts to help the country transition from dictatorship to democracy. Machado founded and led an election monitoring group, served in Venezuela's National Assembly, organized mass protests against authoritarian rule, and united opposition forces behind democratic reforms. The prestigious award has generated much global anticipation this year due to controversy surrounding US President Donald Trump's push to secure it. Taiwan is edging closer to becoming a super-aged society. The country's Statistics Bureau reports that by the end of September, just under 20% of Taiwan's population was 65 or older. Societies are considered super-aged if over 20% of their population is in that age group. The figures also show Taiwan's population shrank for the 21st month in a row, with some 8,600 births compared to over 15,000 deaths. Menstrual products are an expensive necessity for girls and women around the world. Ahead of Universal Day of the Girl, Taiwanese civic groups and lawmakers are proposing a universal allowance for girls to buy menstrual products. But as Irene Lin reports, some say vouchers won't always cut it.
How much do you spend on menstrual products every year? It's a necessity, but an extra cost for women around the world, especially for those struggling to make ends meet. While help is already in place in Taiwan, civic groups here say it's a gender equality issue. They're calling for universal relief for all girls aged 16 to 22.
以我自己为例，我每月要使用约170元的卫生棉，吃掉90元的止痛药。经期需求不应该以贫穷线来划分。
The current policy, implemented by the Education Ministry in 2023, allocates over $8 million each year. It suggests schools of all levels put sanitary items up for grabs in clean, convenient locations. But this group says those measures can backfire if not done properly.
发放生理用品给不利处境学生，可能会造成标签化的效果。还有呢，生理用品还是非常的不多元，那定点取用也很不方便。
Instead, they're proposing vouchers worth about $40 per year for teenage girls and young women, hoping the government will increase the age limit to benefit more people. While some eligible for the voucher are happy to see some assistance, they also say cash doesn't help in emergencies.
卫生棉的费用的确蛮高的，那我觉得的确是有帮助的，也不需要撤掉这种公共的东西。但我其实更常看到的会是比较像是大家爱心去自己放的。那我觉得这对于急需的人而言，好像这其实不冲突。
我觉得是不一样的两件事，因为毕竟放在那里就表示是有人忘记带，我们并不会去赌说今天厕所有卫生棉我们才就不带，而是就是我们真的没有带到的话才会去使用。
Others say the money is little help, and the focus should be on making sure the products already being provided are accessible and safe to use.
如果真的要以1年用到的卫生棉量的话，我觉得那个钱一定是远超于1200。
可能发霉之类的问题的话，可以就是用那种比较密封一点的盒子，是基本上是有办法解决这个问题的。
The current policy isn't binding, which means it's up to schools to figure out how and if they provide free products. It's also not original. In 2020, Scotland set an example by offering free tampons and pads in pharmacies and community centers to anyone who needs them. Sweden also started offering these products to its female conscripts in 2023. About 9% of women in Taiwan struggle to buy sanitary items for their monthly needs. While that's less than other countries in Asia, it still has some way to go to make sure women and girls are safe and healthy. Brian Wu and Irene Lin in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can find more of our stories on the TaiwanPlus website and on our social media. Finally, let's end today with Taiwan's National Day fireworks lighting up the sky over Nat'l. I'm Laurel Stewart. Take care and see you next time.